On February 12, 2013, the International Olympic Committee made a recommendation to eliminate wrestling as one of its core sports from the Olympic Games in 2020 and on. In May and September of 2013, the International Olympic Committee executives, a group of 15 members, will meet again for a final determination of wrestling's existence in the Olympic Games. From now until September of 2013, the wrestling community and fans must come together and show their alliance to preserve what is not only a core sport in the Olympics, but what is core to our very humanity and existence, being a wrestler. This video shows just what wrestling means to wrestlers, referees, coaches, and athletic directors in the town of San Luis Obispo, California. The commonality of this special sport, wrestling, is shared worldwide.
My father put me into wrestling when I was about 5 years old.
I started wrestling when I was 4 years old.
Well, it's kind of a story.
My dad kind of took me to a wrestling practice at the high school nearby, and I was 4 years old.
From family. My older brother wrestled.
Just really honestly started wrestling because my friend made me.
Our dad put me and Dominic on the mat at our local high school.
Oh gosh, I started wrestling when I was in junior high. I was 12 years old.
Raised by a father that had coached wrestling for 32 years.
Instead of, going to the playgrounds, going to the Disneyland, we were at the tournaments.
A little hesitant at first because I heard it was so hard and I loved it.
Honestly, it was to impress a girl, like sitting next to me in 8th grade.
I started wrestling at a young age as an outlet.
Didn't even work to get the girl though, but
It's kind of just like part of our family, and I just kind of got brought into it.
A little bit of a misfit, out there skateboarding and kind of coming home late and getting into trouble. My grades weren't where they should have been, and as soon as I started wrestling, it all turned around.
I was a crazy kid. I would get sent home maybe once a month.
My two brothers wrestled, my son wrestled.
My older brother and my older sister wrestled in high school, and so did my dad.
In 4th grade, my dad he was a high school wrestler. He kind of, he pushed me into it a little bit.
He was a wrestling coach and a PE teacher, and he kind of just told me to go out for it.
And then Mom was like, oh, you're fat, you gotta do a sport. So she signed me up for wrestling.
Competed for 7 years and been officiating high school and college wrestling for the last 38 years.
My junior year, I kind of slacked off more. I did football.
I just learned so much in my first beginning stages that I just got addicted.
I figured it would be just a fun thing. I didn't really realize it at the time, but it is hard. But I mean, the payback is phenomenal.
But for some reason, I started to fall in love with it.
Ever since then, it's taken me thus far to to where I am now.
sometimes it was the only thing in my life that kept me going.
It led me to my wife, a master's degree, my current position here at Cal Poly.
I'm happily married, I have children of my own, I live in a really nice part of California, I have a great job.
Paved the way for so many gifts in my life that I just can't even imagine.
It gave me the mentality to step up and be a man.
I'd be willing to bet that every single person before me said the same thing.
Everything that I believe in life that is needed is taught through wrestling. Discipline, perseverance,
resilience, humility,
hard work and determination, tenacity,
self-reliance,
dedication,
camaraderie,
manage things to get schoolwork done,
strength, inner motivation, outer motivation,
sacrifice. I could go on and on.
Self-control. It's taught me how to work hard.
It just reflects who you are.
I believe it's made me a better person.
Built my character in so many different ways.
It gave me a purpose, basically. You discovered about yourself what you were made of.
Gave me a sense of self. No matter what, I could do it.
It's changed me completely as a human being.
The sport of wrestling gives you such a unique perspective.
Some of the lessons, particularly to me, being a referee, is the sportsmanship aspect and also the fraternity of wrestling.
Things that will get you to that goal is hard work and dedication. Nothing else.
When you feel like giving up, wrestling is there to tell you you're not giving up, you're still going.
Nothing goes as hard or is as hard as wrestling.
Honestly, I wouldn't have gotten in here on my grades alone, but with wrestling, now I'm able to have this chance to graduate with a degree.
It's really clear whether you've won or lost. You know if you're going to win, and you know what you want to do, and you know how you have to get better.
Win or lose based on the work you put into it.
It's mano a mano when you're out there on the mat. There's no one else to blame but yourself.
You always want to be the best, whether it be in wrestling, whether it be in school, whether it be in life.
It really all comes down to actually getting up and doing it.
The wrestling really helped make me from a boy to a man.
It's taught me like to just go until you can't anymore, fight until the end.
Once I find my limit, I gotta push myself past it in order to succeed, in order to keep going.
It's an awesome sport, and the great wrestlers, man, they'll fail and they'll get back up on their feet and keep attacking at it, you know, keep working.
Establish some bonds with individuals that I don't think will ever break. They're some of the closest bonds that I'd like to think exist on earth. There's somebody that you've cried with, somebody that you've bled with, somebody that you sweated with day in and day out.
I mean, those are friends I'll have for the rest of my life and memories I'll never forget.
I've played all the sports, and none of them I really think take you to a point in your mental state or physical exhaustion like wrestling does.
Kind of going with Dan Gable's quote, once you've wrestled, everything else in life is easy.
Anything else you do in life seems almost minimal in comparison.
And so when it comes to everyday life, I know I can still be strong.
I can't say enough how much it's meant to me to get to where I am now.
If I have kids are definitely, I'm going to encourage them to wrestle. I won't force them to.
200 plus countries compete in wrestling worldwide. During last summer's Olympic Games, 58.5 million viewers watched Olympic wrestling on television at its highest point, making wrestling one of the most watched and attended sports of the Olympic Games. 70 plus countries compete in wrestling in the Olympics, making it one of the most participated sports. In the US, 272,000 young men and 8,200 young women compete on the high school level in wrestling. And over 40,000 additional high school programs and 95 college programs have been added in the last 10 years in the United States. 10 countries, including the United States and Russia, met in Iran to strategize on influencing the IOC at a meeting in May of 2013.
It would hurt a lot, crush a lot of people's dreams.
Is basically removing what every kid aspires to.
First of all, you take away the dream of every kid.
I mean, if they take away wrestling, they're basically taking away my life. And that is not something I would like.
We're trying to build, and it's hard. It's very hard.
And the progression is Pee-wee, high school, college, Olympics, and that's how it goes.
If a college starts dropping it, high school starts dropping it.
72 junior colleges that had programs, now there's 20.
It's just a reverberation. You cut the college and the high school goes, and if the high school goes, then the little kids goes.
And so anytime you take the highest crowning achievement of anything, there's a trickle-down effect.
More colleges potentially dropping their programs and maybe becoming clubs as opposed to universities or junior colleges and high school programs. I think you need that goal.
I believe it's outrageous. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I heard the news.
I would never even have imagined it being dropped before. When I think I saw it on an Instagram post, and I was just like,
that's silly. That doesn't even make sense.
You know, the Olympics is the ultimate goal for every youth wrestler, every high school wrestler, even every college wrestler.
You know, Boris Novachkov specifically, he was an extremely successful college wrestler because, you know, from day one, coming in as a freshman, oh, I'm going to be an Olympic champion. You know, I'm going to wrestle for either Bulgaria or America, and I'm going to win the Olympics.
We don't have professional. We don't have the NFL. We don't have the NBA. We don't have anything. Where do we go after this?
And you need to have a goal to get better. But if you take away that goal, then what are we striving for?
I don't think anybody else should go through this feeling of having their dreams and their goals just crushed and taken away from them.
Your life goals just get torn apart, torn away just because of some committee's decision to maybe get rid of it.
He wants to go and go against the best of the world. He wants to be an Olympian. He wants to be a gold medalist.
When you think about the possibility of someone taking away something that made me a man, it's hard to articulate what that would mean if I hadn't had that. But here's the thing, here's what the Olympics are to a lot of people, to me even. You see these Olympians and you feel like, okay, well, that can be me someday.
That may be part of the reason why the Olympic Committee decides that they don't want this sport, because a lot of people don't understand it.
Wrestling taken out of the Olympics takes out everything that I stand for.
For one thing, it was the most
one of the most ancient of traditions in the Olympics. And if we're getting rid of tradition, that's not good, because the Olympics was founded on tradition.
It's been there since the beginning of time. It stood the test of time. Why 2020? Why does it have to stop there?
If all you need is a soft ground, any country in the world can participate in wrestling.
Maybe freestyle will just go away completely.
It could be in danger of just, fading away. And
I don't know what you could replace wrestling with.
But the Olympics is the top, and that's where you want to be, and that's where everyone watches.
It's more than a sport, and if it's being taken out of the Olympics, that's just like stripping it of what it is.
The Olympics is definitely like the highest goal for me. That's a ladder that I want to climb, and if it's not there, I'm kind of lost.
I just don't see, I see it as a weakening. To eliminate just such basic competition doesn't seem like it honors the spirit of the Olympics.
Keep wrestling in the Olympics because it's the best sport, I believe, and it's the oldest sport.
Unfortunately, that has been stripped from us right now, and it's a difficult thing to take.
Gymnastics, swimming, a lot of the track and field sports, where would they be if they weren't in the Olympics? I think a lot of those athletes, like wrestlers, look to the Olympics as their highlight of their career.
Love this sport. I want my kids to be able to have an opportunity, if they want, to have a dream of going to the Olympics.
It just can't happen. It just can't happen.
Keep fighting through 2016 and, up until 2019 and 30 seconds left if we're not in that Olympics.
It's something that definitely should be in the Olympics. It should stay in the Olympics.
There needs to be a resurgence in the sport.
It doesn't come back to the Olympics. We have to even work harder now to maintain the success that we've had. It's an important part of our athletic program and across this country. And wrestlers, they're gonna work hard to make sure it stays around.
Join the Facebook page, Keep Wrestling in the Olympics. Make your own video and share exactly what wrestling means to you. Talk to your local media and explain why wrestling must remain in the Olympics. Start a conversation with your friends, family, and athletic directors. Wrestling has been a part of mankind since the beginning and must remain till the end.